Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off following another delay on Bitcoin exchange traded funds. Asset managers Van Eck and SolidX plan to offer a limited version of their Bitcoin ETF to institutional investors only. Van Eck Securities and SolidX Management want to start selling shares in a limited version of a Bitcoin ETF using a rule that exempts the shares from securities regulation, under which shares can only be sold to certain institutional investors. The Wall Street Journal reported on the 3rd of September. According to the report, the investment management firms are planning to start selling on the 5th of September, that is today, under the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's rule number 144A, which allows the sale of privately placed securities to qualified institutional buyers. By using the SEC's exemption, Van Eck and SolidX will be able to offer shares of their Van Eck SolidX Bitcoin trusts to institutions such as banks and hedge funds, but not retail investors, the report notes. Since Van Eck and SolidX requested the SEC to list a Bitcoin ETF in 2018, the regulator has delayed the decision on the matter multiple times, having approved 0 Bitcoin ETFs to date. If I am not mistaken, I think the last 5 years have seen nonstop rejections from the SEC. I do not expect them to offer a Bitcoin ETF or anything of the like anytime soon. A lot of what they've said, in my opinion, in my view, from what I've seen as a discussion has been going on the last couple of years, everything that the SEC has said has been very contradictory to what they've said previously before. We've seen instances where people have put in requests or documentation or whatever they have to do in order to try and get an ETF put through. And every single time the SEC said, nope, you can't do that. Sorry, we're actually looking for this paragraph in your paperwork. Next time, the people had that paragraph in the paperwork and the SEC said, no, you're actually missing this paragraph. And they said, okay. They revise it again, and it's been going on and on and on. Everyone is told by the SEC that they're missing something or something is lacking, and then when they put that certain thing in the documentation, they're once again told, no, sorry. The weirdest part for me, 50%. I could understand certain institutions not saying Van Eck or SolidX, but even for the Winklevis to have tried, it's been around 5 years. And every single year they've also been shot down. Something, in my opinion, is going on behind the scenes. Even just based off of basic speculation, it comes down to the fact that it is widely believed that if the SEC approves a Bitcoin ETF or anything as such, exchange traded notes, funds, whatever, and one of them ends up going through, this will open up the floodgates, and therefore everyone else will just simply copy and paste what the other institution did, say we're going to do the exact same thing, and that kind of gets the entire thing moving. On top of that, it is widely believed that an ETF will be the beginning of Bitcoin's dominant rise, and nothing will be able to stop it. Because once you start having, this is why we've also seen, I'm pretty sure you've been paying attention as well, all the other derivatives and other things that have come from Bitcoin, or they're trying to link with Bitcoin, or they're trying to do this with Bitcoin. Why we have so many of them every single day that are launching, trying to get launched, trying to get this name or so and so and so. It comes down to the fact that these things, when you link them to the traditional financial market and they're just based off of Bitcoin or even physical Bitcoin, this will have a beneficial effect on the price of Bitcoin, so many people believe. The point being, Van Eck, SolidX, and LedgerX, who's not listed here, have been shot down, I guess, far too many times for their own liking. It is clear to me that unless something, I think the next round of no's is going to be sometime in October. I think that's the next time when the SEC will finally have to give their final yay or nay on, I think, the 3 or 4 ETFs that are trying to be passed through. What we end up seeing every single time is, 1, the ETFs don't go through, surprise, surprise. But 2, for some reason, the market gets surprised that we didn't get an ETF and the prices of the cryptocurrencies in tandem together all go down. And it's kind of, you sit there like you should have known this was going to happen before. Anyway, the point being, I was looking at the word place here. The point being that I'm sure you noticed about a day or two ago, that the prices started moving up, it was because they announced that they were going to do this. Today is the 5th. We'll see if there's going to be any type of positive movement if we actually do get word that this has actually ended up launching. It's even funnier for me in situations like this is that I'm pretty sure they had a team of lawyers looking through as many books as possible to look for an exemption or to look for some sort of way to be able to allow this to kind of go through. Like, Rule 144A probably wasn't on the first page. I'm pretty sure they were digging for a very long time looking for something, but as of right now, the only way it looks like that this is going to go through, excuse me, is if this is allowed to be bought up by hedge funds and banks. Whoop-de-doo. What we've seen mimicked multiple times throughout cryptocurrency's history, and this is what always kind of gets me a bit annoyed, is that whenever something is trying to be launched for everyone, it always gets shut down. And it's not like we've only seen this in the US, we've seen this in Russia, we've seen this in China, we've seen this in even a couple of other countries who I think we're also going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes. Every single time that something tries to get launched that is linked to a cryptocurrency, usually Bitcoin, in multiple countries around the world, and governments find out that normal people can have access to this and therefore maybe potentially have some money in their pockets as well, governments say no, and there's always a loophole that allows rich people to become richer. But this is a first step. It's better than nothing, as some might say. Not even saying that we need an ETF in order for the market to get going, but it usually does not hurt. Let's hope, or rather, I'm sure in the future we're going to have ETFs that are going to be linked to Bitcoin, that are going to be able for everyday people to kind of have access to them. But at the moment, it kind of is what it is. Here's the actual article right here. Oh, okay. I was surprised. It took a bit longer to load earlier because of this video that was trying to load that had no reason. Anyway, this is the information from the Wall Street Journal, and I'm going to try and close this just so I can, there we go, get things moving on. Anyway, next up, which is already there, we have a lot of speculation floating around about Amazon and Libra and crypto. Even though Amazon is yet to announce any plans for its own digital assets, a new report which surveyed opinions from several analysts has claimed that Amazon is very likely to announce a Libra competitor. A few months ago, Facebook revealed plans for its own cryptocurrency called Libra and also announced the Libra Association. The announcement was met with different reactions, most of which were largely polar. Many cryptocurrency enthusiasts seem to laud the social media giant on its decision to enter the cryptocurrency sector. These advocates believed that a firm like Facebook, which has an estimated 1.5 billion users just on Facebook alone, would do a lot for crypto adoption. On the other hand, a lot of people, including U.S. congressmen and women, were against Facebook creating its own cryptocurrency. Since then, however, a number of potential competitors have sprung up, including Binance's Venus class of stablecoins. Ben Mesrich, the author of Accidental Bitcoins, Accidental Billionaires, that's a shame, a book which detailed the early days of Facebook, expressed at the time that a cryptocurrency floated by Amazon was a much better choice than Libra. Now it would seem that recent sentiments are corroborating this claim. So apparently what ended up happening was that the news that we had is that apparently Amazon had a survey that was going around on a website called Syndicator, where they were asking people, did they think it was a good idea for Amazon to create their own cryptocurrency? The Syndicator reports that nearly 23% of the analysts who took part in the survey believe Amazon to not only be a worthy opponent, but also the most likely to announce its own cryptocurrency. We've had news about this for a couple of months now. We even had news about Amazon launching their own cryptocurrency before Libra was even announced. I think it was actually kind of weird that Facebook announced their own coin before Amazon did, because we were expecting Amazon to have their own coin since around 2016, maybe the beginning of 2017. There was a time not too long ago where people believed that the main adoption thingy, I don't know what word to use, for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies was going to be platforms and websites where you could actually buy things. The idea was, remember there were petitions floating around. Sorry, I just woke up, so my brain's a little foggy fuzzy, floating around trying to get Amazon and eBay, which no one ever hears about anymore. Not that we don't hear about eBay, but no one hears about these petitions anymore, floating around trying to get these websites to actually adopt cryptocurrencies. And the idea was, when we started getting stablecoins, people were like, well, maybe they're going to create their own kind of stablecoin. So this is why people believe that Amazon was going to be first before Facebook, and this is why Facebook, I mean, the point being, this has been floating around for a while. A lot of people believe that Amazon has been secretively working on something that's not so secretive anymore. This one says shoppers would welcome an Amazon cryptocurrency. You can already get to Amazon via amazonbitcoin.com. So they've bought up all of these domain names already. I expect it to happen relatively soon. I'm not sure if they'll do it before the end of this year. I think it would be a good time for them to announce it. I think it could put even a bit more pressure on Facebook to kind of launch early or try to get things rolling. But there's definitely been talks about this. If we had news before that even the people from New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ have been talking about crypto for years, one would assume with a company as large as Amazon, I mean, to be honest, if Facebook is making their own crypto, one would assume that Amazon, that there was at least one meeting that took place somewhere in the building with someone talking about creating their own coin. I'm hoping that they won't choose a name like Libra. Like, we already have Libra, we have Gemini, and we have Venus. I hope they don't choose, like, what's one of those animals? Papa Lulu. What's the one with the horns and the legs? Nope, no, that's Libra. Is it Libra? Anyway, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't follow those signs. Anyway, the point being, back to the topic at hand. I think this is going to happen fairly soon. I expect them to announce that they're going to be launching it. I think the most unsmartest move would be for them to announce a cryptocurrency that they're going to try to launch, but say that it won't come out until around 2021. That'll be far too late. Or announcing that they're going to do it, I don't know. I don't think it's going to have the same effect that Libra has had on the market, as far as, or rather, that the Libra has had on regulators. I don't think that Amazon, especially after having taken notice from what's been happening to Facebook's coin, I don't think that Amazon is going to try and take over the banking sector. I think they're just simply going to try and have all payments flow through their stablecoin. This seems to be the most likely, because, I mean, realistically, if you can circumvent Apple Pay, Alipay, PayPal, all these other things, and you are the payment method, then they get all of the money. And this is why it seems the most likely. I mean, if Amazon is this big now, they're probably most likely looking for ways to remain at the top of the charts. Anyway, that's the Amazon speculation. Cryptocurrency, will they do it? They probably are. If they bought AmazonBitcoin.com, one can assume this is probably where things are going. Next up, in incredibly sad, but we should have all seen this coming news, Burundi has banned the trading of digital currencies due to a lack of protection for the public. As Bloomberg reported on the 4th of September, the government was urged to take action after some citizens in the Central African country lost money while dealing with cryptocurrencies or digital currencies. Crypto trading was subsequently banned. Alfred, a director at the central bank's microfinance department, said strong measures could be taken against all those are people, who will not respect this decision, end quote. As previously reported by Cointelegraph, the deputy governor of the Bank of Uganda, Louis Kazakende, has warned the public about the limited protections that they have when investing in unregulated cryptocurrencies. In his remarks, Kazakende stressed that the central bank does not have a comprehensive oversight of all financial services firms and institutions, and that its supervision typically covers commercial banks, credit institutions, foreign exchanges, bureaus, and money remittance service providers. For those of you who remember, this was, I believe, in 2018. Time completely flies. It's insane. There was a podcast that was floating around. I don't remember which one it was anymore. There was someone, and it's sad, I can't remember the exact details of it. There was someone in Africa. He was part of a podcast, and they were talking to him, I think, as he was in his town. And they were discussing the adoption of cryptocurrencies within his country. And he said it's almost non-existent. He said, why is it non-existent? Because regulators found a way to simply scare people and tell them he said, these people lost their money. You can lose your money. Don't touch this. We don't like it. And therefore, no one should be anywhere near it. And the person who was actually running the podcast was asking him, they said, so is Bitcoin illegal? He said, no, it's not. He looked through all the documents. There's nothing in place that says that Bitcoin itself or any of the cryptocurrencies are illegal. But all the government had to do was tell people, don't touch it. It's evil. People lost their money. It's very easy, in my opinion, to come out and say that there have been people, some citizens, who lost their money. It's very scary. If you are already in a situation where you may not be doing well economically as others, and someone tells you they lost their money, you can lose your money too. There was also, my gosh, I can't remember what it was. There was something in the news about a week ago, like exactly a week ago. I can't remember which African country. I think a bunch of banks shut down, and like a whole bunch of credit institutions and loaning institutions, they all completely shut down. And these people who had been saving money their entire lives, gone completely in a flash. And people went to the government to complain about it, and the government said, yeah, we know, we're going to try and get some of your money back. And then no one heard anything. People had been saving their entire lives. They had saved $6,000, $5,000, $4,000, even $1,500. These people had said they saved up all this money to send their kids to school, to do this, to do that, to buy food. They just had a baby, and all this money was gone completely overnight. So when things like this, now forgive me for any type of tinfoil hat, but when we're talking about the world that we currently live in, especially if everyone here is over the age of 25, we know how malicious people can be, especially when they're trying to remain in power. I'll just put it that way. It's not far-fetched at all to believe that a government would have hacked things themselves, destroyed things themselves, or try to heavily go against anything that may push them out of a position of power. If it's very easy, and you know what, even more so, if you want the little piece on top of it, you can Google this. Someone told me before that I was lying, and I sat there thinking, I was like, no, you're lying. You can Google it. Last year, the Polish government paid YouTubers to tell other people not to invest in cryptocurrencies because they were dangerous. They were going to lose their money. You can Google it. Take out your phone right now. Take out your tablet. I'll wait. Type in Poland, maybe Poland scam YouTube, or like Poland cryptocurrency scam ban, like something according with that. It definitely wasn't 2018. And even more so, I think it was two YouTubers who actually made videos on this. And I think one of them actually spilled the beans and said, I'm sorry for what I did. And then the government came forward and said, yeah, we actually told them to do this. If Poland can do it, one can then assume that you can simply tell other people to come onto the news, cry and say, oh my gosh, I lost all my money, my friends, my family, my coworkers, I have no money, what am I going to do, and cry. And therefore, you can scare other people to not doing this as well. Even more so, what's the most interesting about it is that they've banned cryptocurrency trading and not cryptocurrencies themselves, which leads me to believe in many of these countries around this planet that governments are constantly banning very, very weird things, cryptocurrency trading, cryptocurrency mining, but not the cryptocurrencies themselves, because they can't find the loophole that would make it illegal for them to actually hold it as well. So therefore, by making sure that you ban things that are associated with the cryptocurrencies or within the industry, you scare normal people from even thinking of touching it, while government leaders can simply accumulate a lot by themselves, because you'd better believe, I've seen the documentaries about countries, not going to name any countries in particular, who make sure that their citizens are terrified of many different things. And at the same exact time, they accumulate these things that everyone else is terrified of. And they end up being the richest ones in the entire world. I've seen so many things about countries who are, their people have to eat mud to actually fill their bellies. And the leaders of those said countries are on yachts and buying up diamonds as a hedge against their own dying fiat currencies. How insane is that? The point to be made is there are many countries around the world that could benefit greatly. And I mean, it would send them, we would read about these countries in the history books for the next several hundred years about what a smart move they made, how prosperous their country had become, and how their citizens and people within their country had made massive amounts of wealth. What we see happening is now, in this third or fourth stage of cryptocurrency adoption, the fifth one being everyone just has to adopt it because it's simply the better way, is we're seeing I want to say like the fight against us. where they don't accept us, they make fun of us, they laugh, so and so, and then they do everything that they can, but it's the completely wrong way to go about this. What's going to end up happening is, and this is probably the saddest part of all of this, is that at some point they're going to be forced to use cryptocurrencies, whether it be their own, which are going to fail, or having to adopt or announce that they're adopting Bitcoin or Litecoin or this coin or that coin as their country's currency, or something as a hedge against their, the current things that are happening in finance. The years that they've wasted trying to make sure that they're scaring other people. Can you imagine? Now this is a bit far-fetched. Imagine in 2014 if governments or a government somewhere around the world had came forward and said, we're looking into the possible adoption of something. Our current paper currency, our fiat currency, has not worked for years. We have no idea what's wrong. We have spoken with a man named Charlie Lee, and he is the head of something called the Litecoin. It's only $1. So we're going to think about adopting this. It just is these really weird things, even when you get analysts talking about the potential future of cryptocurrencies and how big they could be, how big Bitcoin could become, why do these countries continue to fight tooth and nail against the wave that's going to smack them in the face? I could go on about this forever. It actually just kind of makes me sad, because these countries are going to at some point have to adopt cryptocurrencies. These countries, forgive me if I am incorrect, do not have strong currencies as it stands right now, strong fiat currencies. They are going to have to at some point digitize and also get into the cryptocurrency space. They're going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 years behind everybody else, simply because it makes more sense for them to spread fear as opposed to spreading knowledge. It's an actual shame. Anyway, let's move on. In a complete opposite from what we were just talking about, FinSum 2019 kicked off today at the Japanese capital of Tokyo. Organized by the Nikkei Inc. and Japan's financial services agency, the 3-day event is going to be a mega fintech, blockchain, crypto, and future of finance bonanza. Bitcoin bull and Morgan Creek Digital co-founder and partner Anthony Pompliano was part of today's show, delivering a keynote of defining the future of money. Apparently, after today's series of talks, speeches, and fireside chats, Pompliano had a chance to catch up with 2 key financial services agency executives, the commissioner, Mr. Toshihide Endo, and the director of fintech and innovation, Mr. Junpei Miwa. It just so happens that the financial regulator is stoked about Bitcoin and its associated scaling solution, the Lightning Network. According to Mr. Pompliano, the FSA came out as a serious advocate of the world's top cryptocurrency as well as the Lightning Network. Here's his tweet right here. This is what I'm talking about. Countries know where all of this is going. Imagine whatever country you're in right now, if your financial services agency regulators came out and said, we love Bitcoin and we love the Lightning Network and what it could do, what it could become, and how quickly fees, transactions, blah, 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 can spread around the world, and how great it would be for the people in our country. Can you imagine your regulator saying that? Can you imagine them coming out openly and talking? Yeah, it's when asked to elaborate, my brain is like pulsating. When asked to elaborate on the FSA being a Bitcoin and Lightning advocate, proponent, whatever, by Lightning Torch movement launcher Hodlnaut, some of these sentences are very weird. Is it just me? When I go through some of these things, I read them and I'm like, that's not how people talk, and I don't know why people write this way. Pompliano replied by saying they have fairly clearly regulatory framework. They want to see Bitcoin's Lightning Network succeed. They specifically told me that they think open networks will win, and they are hoping to be a world leader in adopting both aspects of the tech. As reported by the Nikkei Asian Review, a key Japanese central bank official was quoted saying, "We promote Bitcoin, but only with controls. Apart from this, the FSA is already working at monitoring cryptocurrency trading in the country in compliance with anti-money laundering prescriptions." That's fine. I totally get it. If you have a centralized anything that's dealing with cryptocurrencies and you feel like you need to regulate it in some sort of way, go for it. As long as you realize that you cannot regulate blockchain, you cannot get control of the network, but you are totally fine with regulating a place that has an office, go for it. If they're doing something under your jurisdiction that you think that you should be able to control, by all means, write them letters, give them regulations, go for it. When regulators and government leaders announce, when a central bank official says we promote Bitcoin but only with controls, that's fine. The controls comes down to cryptocurrency exchanges and any other remittance service who's thinking about using Bitcoin so they can know exactly where the money's going. But even just to say we promote Bitcoin is insane. I think certain countries are going to do very, very well in the cryptocurrency space in the next couple of years. We've already, even crazier is that we've seen in the past, Japan and South Korea controlled, and I'm sure they will again in the future, the cryptocurrency markets. They were buying up as much cryptocurrencies as possible, and that was in 2017. Think about how much more has been developed, how many more people we now have in the space, regardless of where the prices are right now. I myself am fairly certain the prices are going to do very well in the future. Imagine how well Japan and the people of Japan and the people of South Korea and the people of Portugal and the people of Puerto Rico and many other places around the world are going to do because of the great cryptocurrency regulations that they have. I assume as the days go on for the FinSum 2019 event continue happening, that we're going to probably, maybe, receive some more good news. The point being, there's a huge difference in these two articles. It's very, very sad. And without further ado, let's move on. To kind of finish things off, the Dutch Central Bank has today revealed it will be regulating firms that offer cryptocurrency-related services as of the 10th of January 2020. Reuters reported on the 3rd of September that the Nederlandse Bank clarified that relevant firms in the sector must register with the institution if they wish to continue to operate. The bank's official statement reportedly reads, and I do quote, "In concrete terms, firms offering services for the exchange between cryptos and regular money and crypto wallet providers must register with the Nederlandse Bank," end quote. As reported, Dutch ministers have urged the country's government this July to regulate cryptocurrencies and certain cash payments due to money laundering concerns. In January, Dutch Finance Minister Wopke received official advice from the Netherlands Authority for the Financial Market and the Nederlandse Bank that a licensing system should be introduced for cryptocurrency services. Wonderful. Cool. The point of this article, for those who did not get it, this is number 17 that we've had over the last month and 5 days. Countries are coming out with their cryptocurrency regulations in rapid succession. Why would they be doing this? Because, in my opinion, as we've been talking about before, everything is about to hit the fan. As I said before, it is fairly obvious. The only reasons they are doing this, in my opinion, my humblest of opinions, the New York Stock Exchange is launching, I think, deposits for Backed start today or tomorrow. And subsequently, what is that, 12, 13, 14 days, 16 days from now as well, Backed is officially launching. Why is this significant? Because people around the world are going to be able to use Backed and the physical Bitcoin futures at their behest, at their whim, however they decide to use it. Why is that significant? Because people around the world are going to be able to use this in cryptocurrency. Rather, countries want to make sure that when people start making money, that the government itself also makes money as well. The final end of it is that this is another country who has now come forward with cryptocurrency regulation, and many others still have not done so. Yeah, it's nice to see another country. I mean, like I said, I'm not explicitly for regulations. I don't jump with joy when I see regulations are happening, but it's a step in the right direction for other things to be launched against Bitcoin, for other funds to expand, to accumulate more Bitcoin. It's usually an okay thing. To kind of finish things off, or rather, as always, I'm not doing too well today. My speech is all over the place. A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, JR, Mechanic, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Coldy, 3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas, Run Earth, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick, Kanaya, Richie Rich, The Third, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hits Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, and yes to crypto. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Side note, I apologize, or not really apologize, rather, people were asking what happened to me yesterday. I tried to take like a day and a half off. I'm still tired, and people thought that something had happened to me, that I had simply disappeared because I didn't make a video when I normally do. I saw a lot of comments, and I actually felt really bad. I'm not even joking. I felt like this bad, like I'm doing like a little smidge. I felt bad because people were like, I normally listen to you on my way to work, and I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to take a day off. I do make anywhere from like 1 to 4 videos a day. So sometimes I do have to take a little breather, but I like making videos, so this is why I obviously always come back. There was something else I also had to talk about, and I can't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't like super important, but it was something that I saw in the comment section. I'm sure it'll come back to me, and during the next video I'll be able to talk about it. At the moment, the market is pretty much where we were the last couple of days. Bitcoin is still in the green. Couple of analysts, are we still over 70%? Yeah, we're at 70.44% for Bitcoin's dominance. I'm seeing they're not even bears. Remember the people a couple of months ago who kept on mimicking or talking openly that they think that Bitcoin was going to fall down? These people are starting to sprout up once again, thinking that Bitcoin could once again retest. I saw one talking about Bitcoin retesting 8,500. I'm not expecting that dramatic of a drop over the next 19 days. By the time we get closer to backed, I expect a lot of things are going to happen. If we get indications that this Van Eck Solid X semi-Bitcoin ETF is going to officially launch today, I expect that this could also have a bit of a movement for the price of Bitcoin. We haven't heard a lot from like companies. There we go. That's what it was. Before I forget it. Did I lose it? No, I lost it. Wait, no, I got it. Yeah, people were announcing, or rather asking me yesterday why the video cut off. I made a video relatively late. Obviously, for those of you who saw it, it came out a bit later than usual. What happened was I had so many tabs open on my computer, at least 60 or 70 tabs. I should have known better, and the computer wasn't doing well even as I was making the video. And what ended up happening was that as I was trying to end the video, I have like a whole bunch of like hotkeys. So like when I hit a key, it either records or like stops recording. And I hit the stop key, but I didn't really hit it. And I think I held it for too long. When I looked at the software, it said stopping recording, but it was like 30 seconds after I had already tried to stop recording the screen. And I think that's what messed it up. So I assume it was because I had too many things opened. The point being, if it happens again, I have to figure something out, but I assume I had overloaded my computer. I have a really weird thing where I keep opening up tabs, and I don't need the tabs open. And then the point being, we haven't heard very often about many institutions coming forward talking about with how much crypto they hold. I assume we're going to get these amazing, fantastic numbers. Oh my gosh, yes. Whenever the people from Backed open up deposits, that's also going to be very interesting. I think it's, once again, I think it's today or tomorrow. People are going to be officially allowed to start depositing Bitcoin to the New York Stock Exchange for the trading and all this other stuff. And I assume by the 10th, we should have a large part of these numbers available to us. And we're going to see exactly how much people have started depositing with the New York Stock Exchange. And this is relevant once again because about 2 days ago, we were talking about the people from the CME. I think on a daily basis, I think they trade $500 million worth of Bitcoin futures. So we're going to see some pretty interesting numbers over the next couple of days. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. This is going to be a very interesting month. I'm trying not to get my hopes up for a rapid price movement up. It's a little hard not to. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.